What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Francisco. This is Stream Gear Talk. Today, I'm going to tell you about the sad story of a man, me, who has reconfigured his monitor layouts on his setup at minimum of 20 times, possibly 25 within 2025, which is crazy. And guess what? I'm about to do it again. Now, the reason I'm doing it again is because, as you can see, I'm rocking a single 34-inch ultra-wide display, and it's fantastic. It's an Alienware display. I absolutely love it for gaming. I absolutely love it for productivity. I love it for everything that I do except content creation. Now, I've overcome the issues of using an ultra-wide display and having to crop it down to 16:9. The issue that I'm having now is actually thinking that I could do all of this on one display instead of multiple. And well, it turns out that I can, but it's a little annoying to do so, so I'm going to go ahead and add a second monitor to my setup again. But in order to keep my ultra wide at the bottom, I wanted to get a new monitor mount. And then coincidentally, a company by the name of Huanu reached out to me via email and asked me if I'd be interested in reviewing one of their monitor mounts. And so a few days later, it's heavy, I got their single monitor mount for ultra wide displays. We're gonna open her up, set it up, also set up my monitor setup again, and see if this is a good or bad option for anybody out there shopping for ultra wide display single monitor mounts. So what I got from Huanu is the Huanu HSN SS48 heavy duty monitor arm featuring their Titan Lift technology. It can support ultra wides up to 49 inches in size, providing excellent stability and adjustability. Now, its range of motion ranges from -50 to +50 degrees, 180 degree swivel, and the ability to extend the arm out up to a maximum of 24.8 inches, with the height being adjustable up to a maximum of 19.6 inches, which allows us to find and enjoy the most comfortable positions for both work and play. Coming in at just $89.99, I'm looking forward to seeing how Huanu and their Titan Lift tech will help me elevate my setup today. So without further ado, let's open it up. All right, so styrofoam, cool. Paperwork, set that off to the side. Bolts, screws, a key, and maybe some plastic stoppers or washers. Okay, first segment of the monitor arm. Looks like we have a solid little cable management channel here on the bottom. This part right here feels like it's metal. The top right here is plastic. Clearly something else will sit here in the middle. This looks like the first arm. This is what goes into the base, whereas the second arm that articulates will be right here at the top. More connecting hardware. So this is what's going to actually clamp onto your desk. Here's number 2. More plates and stuff. This looks like the VESA mount that goes onto the back of your monitor right here. Metal. All metal. Only plastic piece is going to be this thing right here, which I believe is a locking mechanism. So that's actually pretty cool. If I'm able to put the VESA mount on the monitor and then easily put it on the arm without having to screw anything to the arm after everything's assembled, I will be very, very happy. All right. This one, ooh, this is the big one. This is the heavy one. This thing, my lord. Oh my God, dude. God bless America. Yes. Look, so it looks like, based off of what I'm seeing here, that I'm going to attach the VESA mount to the monitor, and then I'm going to be able to slide the monitor directly onto this. You have no idea how much of a pain in the butt it is to screw in a VESA mount to the back of a monitor and have to like wrestle with the arm, a screwdriver, a tiny ass little screw, and the monitor itself. It is such a pain in the ass. I'm so glad. I am so glad that that's the case here. This looks to be the actual base itself that I believe, does this screw into anything? I think the clamps screw into here. One here and one here for 2. And the fact that it has a wider base, I'm actually a big fan of, because I always get nervous putting a heavy monitor on a tiny little base that just, I guess, focuses all the weight on a very small point on your desk. Can be good for the desk in the long run, but when I see a base like this that's nice and wide, I feel like that weight is being distributed a lot better compared to some other cheaper options. And now the fun part begins. Now I get to take all that down again. far as my second display is concerned, I'm going to be going with this 27-inch 4K display right here by Asus. It's the Asus something or other. I don't understand why monitor names are so complicated. I don't like it at all, but I'm going to go with this one because I just had another idea. On top of stacking my displays, what I'm going to be able to do now, because I'm going to have a little bit of extra space, I'm going to actually go with my 2 PC setup, basically my gaming tower and my laptop, in which my laptop will handle all of my content creation needs. And if you're interested in seeing what that setup looks like, I actually have a video that I worked on earlier this year, walking you through step by step on how to set that up. So we're going back to it, ladies and gents. Let's go. Now, one thing I do like about the base is that we have some nice little rubber padding here on the corners. That way, since this is the part that makes contact with the top surface of your desk, you're less liable to damage your desk as a result. And this right here feels like very, very, very sturdy. Very, very sturdy. I am very impressed. Only thing I'll say so far on this whole process here is that the wrench needed to tighten up these screws in here was not found at all in my packaging, but thankfully, because every single piece of furniture that you buy apparently likes to come with a collection of them, I was able to find one that matched the screws from God knows what I purchased when. So the base and the arms are pretty much complete now, and as of right now, I mean, the build quality of this arm feels superb. I've not used an arm of this type of build in the past. I'm gonna be very honest. I've usually gone the super duper cheap route when it comes to monitor arms, because initially when I first started doing all of this, I'd never really spent a lot of money on monitors until this year. And yeah, this thing feels really, really great. Other cool thing that I love when companies do very thoughtful things for their customers. So these guys right here, you see this? This right here, I was wondering what it was, and it turns out that these are spacers for the VESA mount in the event that you're dealing with a curved display instead of a flat display. On a flat display, this will sit flat and flush against the back of your monitor, but on a curved display, this won't help. So they have the spacers included to help you put this to the back, which is pretty cool, and what we're gonna do now. Not only do they include the spacers in the event that you have a curved display instead of a flat display, in the event that you have to use the spacers, this tiny little screw right here ain't gonna cut it. So they went ahead and included a longer screw that'll fit through the spacers. Ta-da! There it is. Right there. 2 monitor setup with the ultrawide at the bottom using my new Huanu single ultrawide monitor mount and my 27-inch 4K display up top. Of course, I gotta connect everything, but I'll tell you this so far. This monitor mount is easily probably the best one I think I have ever used. Again, full transparency, I've pretty much gone the super cheap route when it comes to monitor mounts in the past up until this one. And you can just tell how much more of a premium product this is based on how it moves. Because a lot of times, the one issue I always have with these cheap monitor mounts is when you have to swivel your monitor in order to level it out. There was no like real good way to do that. You had to almost get lucky, or at least I almost had to get lucky to be able to swivel it to the point where it is actually level. This thing, it literally moves precisely. I don't know how to describe it. It's almost as if the older mounts, I had to twist a good little bit before it actually started to move and adjust itself. And by the time the first adjustment happened, I'm like super crooked. Whereas with this mount, I just barely move it and it adjusts precisely to how much movement I just enacted on the monitor, if that's even a way of saying that. Ultimately, yeah, I am very, very, very happy, very impressed, very pleased with what Huanu has sent me here today, because this is awesome. And immediately I'm thinking to myself, I think I need to buy one for my monitor up here. Hopefully they make one that reaches up that high. But before we wrap things up, let me go ahead and connect everything, get everything cleaned up. That way you can see the final result. There we go. Look at that. Bam. 2 monitors right there, right above another. I get the pleasure of my ultrawide at the bottom with productivity when I'm streaming or recording game footage with my 4K monitor up top. And not to mention that the monitor is incredibly well supported, and now I have a whole lot of extra real estate underneath my display. And maybe I don't want to put anything there. I don't have to, but at least I don't have this ugly ass base that the monitor came with right there taking up space that frankly doesn't need to be there to begin with. Ultimately, I'll tell you that the Huanuo arm is incredibly well built. It provides a lot of support for my monitor. It doesn't feel like it's struggling to hold my ultrawide in place. And the way that it moves, the way I'm able to adjust it with little to no effort, honestly, very surprising, like super, super surprising. I am very impressed with how precise and how easy it is to adjust the monitor to where I need it to be and how I want it to be. And frankly, if I had known about Huanu sooner, I probably would have avoided spending money on all these cheap mounts that I have that now I have a closet full of, and instead have gone with something a little bit more premium like this one right here. So if you're shopping around for a monitor mount for your ultra wide display, this Huanu one, I'm butchering the name, I'm so sorry, but this one is a fantastic recommendation. I highly recommend it. I love it. It works fantastically well. No issues whatsoever at all. So hope you found this informative and helpful. Until next time, I'll catch y'all around. Be good to yourselves, be good to one another. Peace out.